Hello, and welcome back to Picks and Portraits. Today, we are going to be continuing our look at interesting or eccentric people with a profile on Alvin and Heidi Toffler, specifically their Futurism, even more specifically, their first book, Future Shock. This was adapted into a film, which is easier to cover visually, but I do want to spend a little bit of time looking at the Tofflers themselves. Now, this is going to be heavier on Alvin. The couple were collaborators, but Heidi refused her byline. She apparently didn't care if she was credited, and most of the books are credited to Alvin alone. As such, he received much of the public praise, but these concepts and books were conceived by both. Heidi was a graduate of Long Island University, having studied English. She met Alvin while he was studying at New York University. I identify with Alvin, as he was apparently an inattentive student. He was more interested in politics, particularly in the labor movement. The two would be married in 1950. After graduating, I guess as a way of method writing, both Alvin and Heidi took jobs in factories, working on assembly lines. They saw this as research into labor, mass production, industry. This opened up writing opportunities. Alvin would eventually write for a union newspaper. He later became the labor columnist for Fortune magazine, did some freelance work, some interviews for Playboy. In the 1960s, he began working with IBM to study the social impact of emerging technology like computers, artificial intelligence. In 1965, he published the article, The Future as a Way of Life, and this formed the basis of what would become Future Shock. The idea of future shock grew out of culture shock, the reaction cultures have to experiencing other cultures, how overwhelming getting out of your comfort zone can be. Future shock is the reaction individuals or societies have to rapid change in a short amount of time. This is on account of both social and technological advances, which the Tofflers believe worked in unison. It may cause people to feel overwhelmed with the amount of information they're receiving or having to process. The Tofflers did not coin the phrase information overload, but they certainly helped popularize it. Future Shock, which was published in 1970, sold over 6 million copies. This was a very popular book, and these ideas reach many people. Symptoms of future shock include confusion, anxiety, isolation, and depression. The Tofflers believed accurately that we as a society were on the cusp of a massive revolution, a change not seen since the Industrial Revolution. They organized societal change into 3 different parts, or waves, structured around labor, production, and consumption. The first wave began with the advent of agriculture, people growing their own food, making their own clothes, trading it with others. The second was the industrial era, people working to make money, mass-producing goods to be sold rather than used by the people who were making them. And the third wave, which was the title of the sequel to Future Shock, that was ushered in with the computer and automatic production. This wave came very quick, resulting in Future Shock. With so much change, everything becomes disposable. Quicker production means more. New models are always coming out. Obsolescence, the death of permanence, the fading of tradition. This affects labor, workplaces, and education from 15 years earlier is outdated. Career changes, whole industries just become obsolete. People no longer live in one place. They have multiple homes in multiple areas throughout their lives, becoming nomadic. Home, job, relationship. These all become temporary and subject to change. The footage you are seeing comes from a documentary adaptation of Future Shock, produced in 1972 and hosted by Orson Welles. By 1972, Welles was something of a Hollywood pariah. He was still directing films, but we are some 30 years removed from Citizen Kane and a couple years after his infamous frozen peas outtake. This documentary presents the ideas of future shock, like changing social norms, challenging the permanence of what was considered traditional love, to death do one man and one woman part. It highlights modern alternative families or relationships, like polyamory, called group marriage here, as well as same-sex marriage, communes as well. We see these types of alternative families a lot in 70s futurism. It also predicts programmable babies, where parents could pick and choose the mental and physical attributes of their children, basically eugenics, as well as human cloning. Health, modern medicine keeps people alive longer, the creation of artificial organs, prosthetic limbs, even plastic surgery, changing the way we look. Now, the book was written in 1970. Over 50 years has passed, so some things are a little outdated about it, but future shock is 100% still happening, maybe even more so than when the book was published. You know, look at how social media has accelerated in just the past decade, and everything that has come with it, what it makes people do, how it makes people feel. Technologies like cell phones, computers are created to become obsolete around the time the next model comes out. Older models are incompatible with updated operating systems, with no way to function except to upgrade. This does not go for everyone, but I'm sure many of your lives have changed in just the past couple of years even. I know mine has. Things are accelerating with no signs of slowing down. If you want to check out the Tofflers for yourself, I will post links to relevant material in the description. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and if you have the means, please consider supporting us on Patreon. There are a bunch of exclusive videos and series over there, including Future Film, looking at past depictions of the future seen in movies. We have a new episode up this week, Future Schlock, looking at some great 90s cyberpunk trash. $5 a month gets you access to that and dozens of other videos and helps keep these videos coming out regularly. That's patreon.com/pixandportraits. As always, thank you all so much for interest in this channel, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the future.